There we go. Okay. So we have all of the champions that have a constellation. So we're going to be going through and looking at everyone's 4th star power specifically. We'll do other ones later, or like the whole constellation as a whole and stuff like that. But for this one, we're just looking at the 4th star power because that is something you can get a lot faster and just see who gets the most impact out of it. That being said, I'm going to go open my door because it's getting hot in here. All right, so let's just move. Well, this is... we have a whole log tier list over here. Don't really know if we're going to use everything. But first, we're just going to bring the champions over in the corner over here, and then we'll spread them out into how we're ranking them. It's only the 20 champions, so we have a lot of the tier list to work with. All right, so if anyone's over here in this side, they are not being ranked. So up first, since we have it open already, let's take a look at Ashe. So, treacherous terrain. Each round, the first time an enemy summons a unit, frostbite it. This is going to be absolutely massive because this is stacking on top of your 3rd star power, where at round start you're already frostbiting the strongest unit. So you're essentially frostbiting 2 units every single round. This is giving you so much more control. This is going to be fantastic. So for me, now we're going to probably move these around a little bit. I think we're going to go ahead and put Ashe up in like S tier. Maybe other people are going to make me knock her down, but for right now, I think it is very good. This is so good. Yeah, it's fantastic to get. So we're gonna then move on to Aatrox. All right, your constellation. Allies with equipment or attachment have 2/2. This is very simple, very straightforward, but definitely helping you out. Often when you're going up against harder challenges, you just have an issue where the enemy has flat out bigger opponents than you. So just getting bigger units is nice. That being said, it's not crazy. I think this would just be like kind of the average is what I kind of think this be. Like really solid, but not insane. So I think for Aatrox, I think like B tier. I think this is probably just like a good baseline. Might go down in C tier. Yeah, boring is a good call because with these you also kind of, it's not just purely power, you also want it to be exciting. So we might put it down in C tier. As far as strength, it is definitely really helpful, really solid for you. But we'll put it in C tier for now and maybe switch things around a little bit. Moving on then. So let's go to Darius, and we'll pretty much just do the order here and then grab anyone else. So your constellation, Darius actually has an issue where his isn't right next to you. So you actually have to go out of your way to go get it. On the good side, like, yes, you can go for your mana flow first, but we'll still go off of the power you're getting. Round start, hold it, stun the strongest enemy. Now, it is pretty boring, but it is definitely helpful. With Darius, you're really opposed to blocking because you need your units to stay alive so they can attack, so you can get your rally off, your 15 power across all your units. So it is definitely good. It is also very boring though, so this is kind of feeling probably the same line as far as Aatrox, where it is helpful. It's definitely good for you, but pretty boring and just good. Whereas the Ashe one feels amazing. And you can find it as a power. Yes, but that is also most of these. Like, you can say the same thing for Ashe. Like, almost all of these you can find as a power. That's kind of the point. But it's good. It's not like you're getting something that's increasing your offensive capability, though. So you're just, like, even more aggro. It's kind of a boring power. All right, so let's move on then from Darius. And we'll go ahead and move and look at Ekko. Ekko, sorcery, round start, refill your spell mana. Definitely very helpful. With Ekko, running out of mana is very much a problem. Quite often, you would run Lost Chapter on Ekko just so you can get your mana. I think this one is very nice to have, and I think it's a little bit more impactful than the round start stun the strongest enemy. It is still obviously a power you can find out in the world. I don't think I'd quite go A tier. I think this one would be more of B tier. I think I like it a little bit better than Aatrox and Darius. I don't think I'd go all the way up for A. Yes, it does free up a relic slot. It's just nice that this is something happening immediately, and it's just always benefiting you. That is one thing with the Darius and Aatrox. It's like it's normally going to be benefiting you and helpful, but with Aatrox, there's going to be some times where you're not going to have units equipped. So it's not like 2-2 for all your units. I mean, still, you're normally going to try. You think it's S tier? I would not go that high. I think it's definitely helpful, definitely good. I don't think it's quite that good. All right, let's move on to Gwen. So Gwen, I believe you just have Crush. Although you do have an issue where... yeah, you are not getting... it's all the way down here. So for Gwen, you have to hit like 2 nodes to get it. I kind of feel like whoever has to actually go out of their way to get their power should probably be ranked lower on the tier list, because the tier list is kind of here to help you prioritize, okay, who should I get this on? Whereas that's not really going to be helpful for you for Gwen, because for Gwen, it's like you actually have a choice of, do I go and get this first, or do I go and get my mana gem? Do I go and get the Last Dance? Now, this will come down to what you have resources for, but I think I'm actually going to drop this really low. Like, let's actually put this down in, like, F tier. Not because the power is bad. The power is great. The power is fantastic for you. But the tier list is trying to help you know who to get powers for. So that one is out of the way. I feel like for Darius, we might drop him down to the D tier, because for him, he was another one that you had to go a bit out of your way to get it. Isn't double attack on the same side? Yes, that is true. So, taking a look at it, you have to get this node first, then you have to go out and get double attack, and then you have to go and get crush. So double attack is still good for you to get, but it's still you will probably get this first, but it's still not grabbing your 4th star power. No, like double attack is fantastic to get, but you're still not getting your 4th star power there. Yeah, maybe we'll raise Gwen up to D tier. It is 2 out of your way, but you are probably going to get that double attack, which I feel like offsets it a bit. But still, being kind of delayed for what you're getting, that's not very nice. Like, it's a lot better for Ashe, where the first thing you get is this power that is immediately helping you. So this is specifically talking about people's 4th star power and pretty much giving you a reference of who you want to go for first. So champions that are getting the most impact out of it, and champions that have easy access to it. For both Darius and Gwen, their star power is out of the way, where you can't just pick it up immediately. You have to get another node first. So for Gwen, you're like 2 away, which is kind of a bit of a problem. The power itself is good. Also, yeah, Ashe definitely needs it more. With Gwen, Overwhelm is nice. Well, Overwhelm is very good. But you do so much damage that you could just rely on your snips to actually kill their Nexus anyways. Even if you get blocked, you can often kill them. So Ashe is definitely up there. Yeah, I think this is fine so far. So let's go ahead and go up next. We have Jinx. Constellations. So yeah, you have these 3. You can immediately get Sorcery. Sorcery is solid. It's like, how much do we want to factor in how much she needs it? The good thing is it's not out of the way at all. Honestly, Jinx has like the best set of star powers, in the sense of like, you get your 4th star, 5th star, and then 6th star, and you literally don't have to hit anything else. Yeah, you can do the build where you do a turn 1 summon and then discard your entire hand with Loose Cannon's Payload, and then you have the mana to do it. So Ekko also has Sorcery. He also has Sorcery right away. Like, it's helpful for Jinx, but Jinx is already so strong. Yeah, it's an issue where it is a very good synergy. It does help you, but I feel like with your Jinx, you don't really need the help you're already being able to end, and you can very easily on turn 1 just play your you have a card that gives you 2 mana, so you can have enough to spend your rockets. Now that does require you to have that card, but it's in your starting deck. You have decent odds for it. Yeah, I think we'll put it in B tier with Ekko for right now. All right, let's go take a look at Kai'Sa and what she gets. So it's not your first node, which isn't great. Okay, so it's all the way down here. So you have to get 2 other nodes. And while those nodes are good, it's still out of your way. And also, like, it's a good star power, but it's not as impactful as many of the other ones. So I would probably say like down in the D tier. Yes, it's helpful. It's not crazy impactful. And it's out of your way. Hey, Narvel, I'm doing decent. So yeah, I think we'll put it down in the D tier. Yeah, sadly, that seems probably the best. I've heard you need to decide between nodes. You have to, or you can just buy them all. You can buy all the nodes. What you're deciding is your path. So, like, for Kai'Sa, you have to get this one first because it's connected. But once you go here, then you can branch out. Eventually, you can get everything. So when people are saying you have to decide, you just decide the path you go down first. So like here, even though this is technically the 4th star power, you can head up and get your 6th star power before it, if you want. So yes, there's a choice, but it's just choice in order, not choice in like you can only get one of them. So yeah, Kai'Sa sadly out of the way and less impactful than some others. Lilia, let's take a look here. So you start down here. All right, so it's not your first one. Okay, this is out of your way and it's helpful, but I feel like out of all the people that get Crush, that get that Overwhelm, Lilia needs it the least. Yeah, I don't think that's actually going to be that good for you. Yeah, I think this is one where I would rather skip this and go and get one of the others. Like, you're not even going to go this direction. Like, that's handy, but it's not like double attack. So this is, yeah, this is going to go down in the F tier, as in you are going to not focus on getting this. Yeah, you're going to go up and just completely avoid this and just focus on the other two, most likely. So we are having our first F tier. Lilia down here. Yeah, the F tier is really ones where you are not going to focus on this. You're just going to completely skip it. We might actually end up putting Kai'Sa down there. Yeah. Like, Kai'Sa's aren't... Lilia's already so strong that you don't need the Overwhelm. And then it's very much out of your way where you just want to get the other upgrades over it. I mean, Lilia's really strong, though. It's not like Riot hates her. She's... And also, the upgrades she gets from her, like, 6 star is really good. And the Crush is helpful. It's just not as needed. Alright, so let's... move on then. Misfortune. So, Constellations. It's not your first one. Hunter's Machete. Oh, wait. Is it the... Yeah, we have to check. Yeah, it is Yip's Genius. So that is handy. You have to go 2 out of your way, although, like, you have to get this node. But still, so you get this, go over here. Hunter's Machete is nice to have, so you probably do want to come over here and grab this. And then Yip's Genius. The bad thing is this is out of your way from your other powers, but it is still really good. Let's see, up here is your 6 star, and over here is Mana Flow. I think this might be like an A tier. What are you guys thinking? A or B tier for this? Because, like, it is a solid, impactful power. This is buffing up your monkeys, so they're going to be a lot stronger. And then you're also trying to get other 1-cost units. On the way to get it, you're grabbing Hunter's Machete. It is a little out of your way though, so that might dock it. So we might maybe need to drop it down to like B tier. Misfortune is here. I'm thinking we'll put it in B just because of how far you have to go to get it. Like, it's an A tier effect, but it's a couple out of the way. So yeah, I would say B for right now. Yeah. I mean, even if it's worse than sorcery on Jinx, Misfortune needs the help more, which also kind of helps boost her up a little bit. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good because you are summoning your powder monkeys every round, and then you already have multiple other 1-drops that are also going to benefit, and you're trying to prioritize your 1-drops, and you can reliably get Misfortune to be a 1-drop with Scourge's Stash. Norra. Let's see. So this is your 4-star. Yeah, you get these 3. And so you have to get 2 out of your way to be able to grab it. You are getting the Portal Pals epic, so it's not that bad, but you're still hitting up 2. And I understand why this is good. Like, you're getting it at the start of the game. It's a elusive that is going to benefit from your extra stats. So it's going to be a pretty big elusive. And then when it gets recalled, you are then able to play it again so you can level up your Norra. So I get why it's good. Yeah, it's created every time you use the spell, so it's always leveling up your Norra. So while it's annoying it's getting recalled, it can be helpful. I don't know. To me, I'm kind of biased against Vestian Disciple. Even though I get why it's good, I just don't really like the card that much. And then you're going out of your way too. Yeah, I feel like this would maybe be like kind of C tier. Just because as Norra, you're already so ridiculously strong that, again, the list is somewhat trying to help you prioritize who to get first. And I feel like Norra is not one you really need to focus on getting this first. Honestly, actually, if we look... Get a Mana Gem or Whoosh. You have to choose either one for your... to get to your 6-star. You might not even want to get this. You might just want to grab Mana Flow instead and then go... I think I'd probably get Mana Flow over Whoosh, to be honest. Hey, Lulzy, 99. Thank you for the support. Having access to the extra draw is going to help for pulling Portal. The card, is it summon 1 and draw 1? Is there draw on that card? Yes. Oh. That does make it better for portals. That is a good point. That is a very good point. I feel like we probably need to put it in B tier because it's helping you a lot, but it's out of your way. And it's it's kind of doing everything with you for you if it has draw as well, because then you might just play it as draw to get your portals going. It's leveling up your Norra. It's giving you an elusive that scales with your powers. I still kind of feel like C tier feels better for it though. But just the 6-star makes her more fun. If you judge by the region, in all cases, Vex needed it the most. True. I say B because it's your way to 6-star, which is pretty big. True. So it's, you can choose which direction to go, but at the same time, even though you're having to hit up other nodes, let's go back over. So even though you're having to hit up other nodes, it is on your way to your 6-star. So that does help it a bit. It's not like it's completely the opposite direction. Now you might still want to go down and get mana flow instead. Yeah, I think we can put it in B tier for now. Yeah, we'll have it in B tier. We might move it. Yeah, we'll leave it there. All right, next up then, let's go ahead and take a look at Samira. So Samira, Constellations, you get fast deal, so draw one, give it fleeting. When you discard a card, create a copy of it in your deck. And so you start here, you have to go up here to get fast deal. This is your 6-star. Okay, so for Samira, you have to go up and then over, and it is the opposite direction, pretty much, of your 6-star. So it's on the way for your 5-star, but that seems kind of rough. Because I think you'd probably just want to go up to get these effects instead. Yeah. I think this is probably like D tier, because it's literally out of your way for you to get. More cheap cards, but the Constellation makes it worse. Yeah, the layout of the Constellation makes this one pretty bad to go for. Yeah, and while the effect is solid, if this was something like Spellslinger, where all your spells cost one less, so you're playing a lot of them like for free, that would probably be a little bit more impactful. It's nice, but I think it's pretty low tier in my opinion. So I think Samira, we'll have her in D. She might go down to F. The Plunder big spell is the other one. So if we take a look here, you go up, and then over here we have spells with 4 cost or more. You acquire adventures, have Forbidden Idol. And then you have an upgrade to your Flare, Ardent Censer, giving you some big buffs. And then you have your 6-star. So you're literally going the opposite path. So this is a Constellation tier list for your 4th star power specifically. So we're trying to break down who you should go for first, as best we can. A lot of factors we're trying to consider. All right, so let's take a look at Vayne's. So Vayne, I love the Constellation layout, and it is your very first one. So I think that's a nice bonus. And it is simple, straightforward. It's the same as Aatrox, but it is nice that it's your very first node. I think Aatrox had the same thing. Yes. I kind of feel like for Vayne, it's a little bit more impactful. It is simple and straightforward, but you do have it as your very first node, which is nice. And for Vayne, putting on your early aggression, like you're all about ending early. So those stats earlier, I feel like it helps more than it does for Aatrox. Because like 2-2, when you're rushing down the enemy in the first 2 rounds, is a lot more impactful than 2-2 in the later game. But the Flare has the 3-3 draw that might be better. Or right, and that Flare is also on the other direction from Samira. Technically, it's better on Vayne since you get Scout, so it's, yeah, kind of even better. An aggressive champ being more aggressive. I mean, I think Vayne's fun factor is higher than Aatrox, especially with the Constellation. So, like, for me personally, when I see this on Vayne, I'm way more excited than I am for Aatrox. So, like, I want to put Vayne in B tier at least, but I know that that's more my personal bias coming in because I remember Vayne being good and I'm excited to get her back to that place. Also, you do have the Scout, which makes your stats even better. So I would kind of want to put it above Aatrox, but let me know what you guys think, because that could just be my Vayne bias. And I want to try to make the tier list as unbiased as possible. So do you guys think Vayne should be higher, or do you think it should be the same with Aatrox? Okay, we'll put Vayne in B then. That's fine. So let's move on and take a look. Volibear. His Constellation, it is the first node, so that's a benefit for you. So that is nice. Grant the weakest enemy vulnerable. This is going to be good for you because you're going to be able to attack and kill enemy units. So it is impactful. I feel like it's kind of boring. Like, it's a lot of the other powers, you see that and you're like, oh man, that's awesome. Where here it's like, oh, okay, that's helpful. Like, it is good to get sigils. It is 100% a very good power. But it's really boring. Yeah, it's the Allawi power. For me, Volibear is the one I was the most excited for. Volibear is like my favorite champion. At least when I want to be like aggressive and just, yeah, drop big units. Shuribo 21. Thank you for the follow. So yeah, Volibear, it is one away, so that is a benefit to you, so that's great. But it's really boring. I kind of feel either C tier or D tier, maybe. B to C, yeah, like it. I think C tier is probably good. It is the very first power you get. It's very helpful. The problem is, it's pretty boring. Yeah, I think C tier is fine. Yeah. Alright, so let's keep moving on then. I don't know how... Wait. Actually, you just made a good point. So, Jesus Slice actually did make a very good point. You already strike it. This is round start, grant the weakest enemy vulnerable. So on the one hand, this is a permanent, granting that enemy they are always going to be vulnerable for the rest of the game. So that is good. It's not just for the round. But when you summon a Titanic ally, it strikes the weakest enemy. So you do have an issue where you might like, oh, grant them vulnerable, and then play a unit and it kills them. So that is a bit of an issue. That being said, this is going to be very helpful for the very first rounds to start it snowballing. I do think we'll leave it in the C tier, but you might have an issue of constantly killing the unit that has the vulnerable, but that is a good problem to have because then you're killing a unit and getting more sigils. I think C tier is still probably right for it because also remember, it is helping you get more sigils and it is literally right next to where you start, which not that many champions have, so that is helpful. So yeah, I think we'll leave it in C tier, but yeah, that is something to consider. You might be striking and killing that unit, but it is permanent, so that unit is always going to have that as long as they're alive. Does it go to the 6-star or is it another path? It goes to the 6-star. So like you go out here and these are just like nice little upgrades to get, but they're not star powers. So you have to go this direction if you want either the 5-star or if you want to go over to the 6-star. And it's actually right next to the 6-star, which that does help. The fact that you get this and then you can immediately get your 6-star if you want. That is really good. I would say it's worse because it's in the way. I mean, I don't think there's any 6-star that's next to like touching your 3rd star power. Like being right next, that is actually solid. That does help you. Yeah, I think we'll leave it in the C tier is where I think we had it. Yeah, and I think that's probably where it belongs. Because Volibear is also a very strong champion. It's not like he really needs the help as much. Ashe, we already rated up in the S tier. So I think it's really helpful. It's right next to where you start. Yeah, I think it's going to be so good for you. All right, let's Lux Illuminated. All right, so you come here, you go over. Allies have Crush. This is going to help you. Having Overwhelm is really important. You normally have to run Overwhelm. Well, you have to run a relic slot to have Overwhelm or Challenger or Elusive. One of those. And yeah, it is right next to where you start. It's pretty good. So, Lux Illuminated. This one's difficult. I feel like it could go up in the A tier, but Lux is already so strong. Like it is helping you out a lot though. And it is one to very easily grab. It is a little bit more on the boring side, but if you separate it from some of the other like boring ones, it makes you end game so much more fast, which is why it's so fun. And you also get a massive amount of power from it. So like Aatrox, for example, you get 2 twin stats. That is great. But is that going to make you end the game like turn 2 or 3? No. So I think we'll put it in A tier. I don't think we'll go up to S tier just because Lux Illuminated is already so powerful. Whereas like Ashe like really needs the help. But yeah, I think we'll put it in the A tier, especially since the A tier is also empty. All right, so let's keep going. I am Black Eagle. Thank you for the follow. Hey, I'm doing all right. A little tired because I've been streaming for almost 6 hours now, but doing okay. We didn't skip anyone, right? All right, Lux Illuminated, Morgana. So Constellations, you have your 3. It is the first node, and it is Spellslinger. Spellslinger is simple and straightforward. I find it more fun than Sorcery. What's your favorite deck? Morgana or Volibear is often my go-to. I mean, Morgana doesn't need the help, but that's also the exact same for, like, Lux Illuminated. I would probably say this is A, just because it's right next to where you start, so it's very easy to just grab this and then not worry about the rest of the tree. Also, all your spells costing 1 less. This will help you ramp up and make sure you're controlling the board a lot earlier, so this will probably help you end games faster. Wouldn't you also want to consider the shared resources? So you go for Ashe because she needs it more. It'll take that much longer to get someone, to get some else, right? To get for someone else. Possibly. Hey SDG, what bundles did you buy and how useful do you think they are? Do you recommend buying? So I'll do a whole dedicated video to that later. For me, I got the first 2 bundles, like the welcome bundle and then like the Constellation bundle. I think both of those are worth it if you can afford it. And then I also got all of the bundles for the epic relics. I haven't tested those epic relics yet though, so I can't really tell you how much it's worth or not. Yes, star crystals, so these are region locked. I wonder actually for what region does this take? For Morgana, can you use either one? I don't know if this is, if you can use both. Only Targon? Okay. Huh. She's a split region champion. She is Demacia and Targon. Which is why it says 75 XP for champions from my regions. It's normally 100%. She does 75 because it's going to 2 regions. Okay, yeah, these ones are saying Targon. So yeah. She takes the Targon ones. But she is dual region. See? You take a look at her, she's both. Anyway, so for Morgana, I would think she's probably like... Goodness, where... There we go. I would probably put it A tier, similar to the other version of Lux, because you immediately get it, and it is very helpful. I find Spellslinger more interesting and more fun than Sorcery, personally. And then for Morgana, I'm probably not going to get anything else. I'm probably going to get this upgrade for her, and then not touch the rest of the Constellation. But I feel like it's going to be impactful enough and really speed up your game plan. Like, yes, she's already broken and strong, but like, I mean, so is Lux or Jinx. Yeah, so I think it's an A tier upgrade. I think it's really going to help you out. And it's so immediate and easy to get. Yeah, I think it should go there. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving on then. So we looked at Morgana. Neeko was up next. What did Neeko get? So here's where you start. Oh. That seems really shitty. I forgot about... Like, I knew it was underwhelming, but... I know it's a Yordle. I know it's triggering a subtype. But... Still, that's... That's really boring to me. Quick question, does Elixir of Sorcery work on Ekko's time trick? Yes. Elixir of Sorcery had going on twice, and yeah, you just predict twice and then draw 2. So this takes the Runeterra nodes. Man, Neeko's like bottom of the priority list for me. I mean, I'm feeling like this should be like F or D tier. On the one hand, you have to get this. Like, this is the only path to go if you want anything for Neeko. So there is that. Like, you have to get it because everything comes from this node. So you have to get it. But it's... yeah, she's a Guardian Orb user, so we don't really care. I think I'm going to put it in like the D tier. The only thing keeping it from the F tier is the fact that this is the only direction for you to go. So it's like, if you want to play Neeko, yes, you have to get this, and it is right next to your starting point, but it has such a not very good impact, and it's boring. It's so boring. Yeah, if this was a card from your starting deck that had like a good item on it or something, then maybe. Yeah, I don't like it at all. Personally, I think that's terrible. All right, let's keep moving on. Neeko's there. Taliyah. Oh, this one's a big one. This one's going probably up in the S tier, I think. Yep, so it's right off from where you start. And each round, the first time you play a landmark, refill mana equal to its cost. So this is essentially the Lux star power, original Lux, but just for landmarks. And I think this is going to be massive. For one, it's very thematic. Like, pretty much only you have this card. It's not something you just pick up in an adventure. And it's giving you more mana so you can play your landmarks and you don't feel punished for it because you're getting that mana back. It has a real impact on how you're playing. I think this is one of the best out of all of them. Like, and it's right off from where you are starting. Like, you want to pick this up immediately. So yeah, this is one where I think I'm going to go and throw this up in the S tier. It's very much hitting that same note of Ashe, where I want to get this as soon as possible because I think this is going to be so helpful for you. So definitely something to prioritize getting, yeah, as soon as you can. All right, so that was pretty simple and straightforward. Moving on then. All right, so we had Taliyah, and now we have 3 all the way here at the bottom. So Vex, I think Vex is another one that might be S tier. All right, so we're starting here. So a little bit, okay, a little bit bad that it's out of our way. So Mana Flow there or Explosive Finale. So I would say this is kept from being S tier because you have to go out to get it a little bit. And also to get it first, if you want to prioritize it, you get like an okay upgrade, whereas like the other 2 feel way better to get. So it's kind of actually the worst route to take. Like, you probably want to work your way around, which really hurts it. Like, it's a phenomenal effect. If this was next to where you started, so if this node was like, well, I guess it can't be here, but if it was right next to this, I'd probably put it up in the S tier. So what it is, when an enemy dies outside of combat, deal 4 to the enemy nexus. So when you kill someone essentially with spells, if they're not attacking or blocking, you hit the enemy nexus for 4 damage, which is very nice. And this synergizes really well with a lot of your other abilities. The issue is the tier list is about who are you wanting to get the 4-star on right away. For Vex, that's not the case. For Vex, you need more of an investment because this is good, but it's good in the context of the other upgrades you're getting. Like, damaging spells you get have Charging Sigil. That's fantastic. Pairs very well with it. Your Pytos has Charging Sigil. Perilous Pastry has Charging Sigil. Like, it's a very good power. Yeah, all the powers for Vex are amazing. For Constellations overall, Vex is going to be like S tier, probably. But we're just looking right now at the 4th star power and who you want to prioritize getting it on. I feel like Vex, it's actually going to be pretty low. Because while the power is good, you're not necessarily prioritizing it over other upgrades. How is Vex buffed? Is she viable now? I mean, she's fine with some builds. They didn't really necessarily buff her. They changed out one card in her starting deck, which helped. They made it so your Gloom goes through Tough and Barrier, so that's good. Her Constellation makes her amazing. So I feel like for Vex, even though the power is good, you aren't prioritizing it. For Vex, since it's all the way up here, you're probably either going around to get Pytos, to get damaging spells, or to get like Utmost Despair on your support champions. And you're probably actually going to focus on like your 6-star. So you might actually go over and get support champions of Utmost Despair, get your mana gem, and then come down and just actually skip Explosive Finale and get it later. Or to go like around. Either way, I don't think just getting this is necessarily your major priority. So I feel like Vex would be pretty low. The 6-star doesn't work with the 4 stars. Like they both trigger off the same effect, which is good and helpful. But this is dealing 4 damage to the Nexus. It's not hitting the enemy board for 4 damage. If this was hitting the enemy board for 4 damage, so also doing all of that work, putting Gloom on everyone, then it'd be insane. It's still really, really good. But this is just hitting the enemy Nexus, which is strong. This is chaining to hit other units. Yes, so 6 does help 4, because if you can get this to Cascade, then you can get some more damage on the Nexus. That's true, yes. Yes, so if you're meaning it like that, the 6-star, yes, that is true. But you're still probably trying to prioritize your 6-star over your 4-star. So I feel like you probably either want to go this way and go down. I mean, I think it's going to be actually really low just because it's low on priority. Because that's kind of the point of the tier list, is ranking the priority of them. So I think putting it down in C tier, potentially, just because it's low priority. Yes, there is a F tier. Right now it's just Lilia, because it's going in a completely other direction from where you want it, and you're avoiding it. I'm still afraid that even at 6 stars, if you don't have all the little branches, it won't be that strong, especially against Lysandra. Yes, I would say Vex is one that you want to fill out almost everything, because you're getting so many strong upgrades. I think let's put Vex in the C tier because it's a mix of low priority but really impactful, and it's a higher priority than I would say like some of the others. So I think let's put it in C tier for now. All right, so we only have 2 left. So let's try to get through these. So Yuumi. Phalanx. And it is the first node, so you have to get this. I would say it's pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm a little biased against Yuumi, to be honest. But I could see putting this actually in the S tier because it's literally the first node you're getting, and then you're already trying to target your units, and so it is giving you that barrier. Let's take a look at the other people we have in the S tier. I feel like I like it more than, or I feel like I like it less than both Ashe and Taliyah. Wolf Abad and Demon Flea, thank you for the follow. Hey, Drakor Card Games. So what are you guys thinking, S or A tier? Because it is a very strong effect. It's literally the first node. It's already going to be doing what you're trying to do. Just Drakor? Yeah, I think that's normally what I say. I think A tier works. I think it's very helpful, very impactful. I still think it's a bit less than Ashe as well as Taliyah. I think both of these, it's kind of the perfect mix of it's your first node, it's really impactful, it's really helping how you're playing, and also you're a weaker champion that really needs the help. So yeah, I think I'll put it in A. It is good though. All right, last up we just have Viego. All right, so his is just, oh, wrong one. So it's Crush. You do have a little bit of an issue of this is your 3 star powers. So you do have to get 2 before you can get it, so it's a little bit more out of the way. As someone that just leveled up Viego, it is pretty rough without it. It is on the way to your 6th star power, but the fact you have to go through 2 nodes to get it is a little rough. I feel like we can't put it in the A tier. I do think Viego needs it more than the other units that also have Crush as their power. So the other units that had Crush was like Lilia. We do have it for Lux, although that being said, while Viego needs it more than Lux, Lux has it as her first node, I believe. Let me actually double check that quickly. Yes, so Lux also has it as her first node, so it's very helpful for her, and she doesn't have to go out of her way to get it. For Viego, this is the path you're going to still take, so it's not like you're moving in an opposite direction from your 6 star, but you do have to move a couple out of the way for it, so I feel like it'd be more like B tier. I don't think we can put it on the same tier as Lux since it's not right next to you. You actually have to go through 2. Once you get the 4th star power, will that take it out of the power pool? It should in most situations. There's some where it won't, like for Morgana, where you have Spell Slinger, because you can get multiple Spell Slingers, because it just keeps reducing down all of your spells by 1. So there's some like that that will, but other ones like Crush, Alex have Overwhelm, that should. And the same for like Volibears, where round start you grant the weakest enemy vulnerable. Some of those should be exclusive, but not all of them. Is Lilia's Constellation that bad? No, so this is not about the Constellation overall. This is just talking about the 4th star power. Like, I can go and quickly show you Lilia. The reason... Did I go? Oh, right, it's at the top because of the upgradable. So the reason Lilia is down in the F tier is because you come over here, you have to get this first, and then her star power is all the way over here. And it's not that useful for you. You have to go out of your way to get it. The other node isn't that helpful, and you're going to want to literally go up because support champions have Stalker's Blade. That's insane. This is such a massive upgrade. And then you want to go up here to get your star powers for either your starting mana or your 6-star. So the reason it's F is you literally don't want to get it. You want to get other things and completely ignore it. So it's kind of a perfect storm of not being that useful, being out of the way, being the opposite direction from other things. All of that together is why she's down in the F tier. It's not that she is bad or that her constellation is bad. It's just the 4th star power isn't really what you want. All right, so how are we thinking about this? Do you think we need to move anyone around? I'm pretty happy with this. I feel like we could maybe move Darius up 1, maybe if we wanted. It is on the way to your 6th star power, so that is a benefit to you. It is pretty boring though. Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly glance through some of the people we have in the D tier, just so we can like kind of make sure we're happy with the rankings, because we'll probably put this out as a video over to YouTube. So hello everyone over at YouTube, like and subscribe. Darius, so his constellation, it's over here. So his 6-star is this way, so you need to get it, and it's only 1 out of your way. So you get Death's Hand, and then you can grab this to round start to stun the strongest enemy. So it's helpful. Can you get the 6-star before the 4-star? Yes, as long as... It depends on how the constellation's made. But if there was a path to it, so if like this had a line straight over here, then yes, you can. For Darius, no. Yeah, so for Darius, it's not as far out of the way. It's literally on your way to the 6-star, which is helpful. Still, though, yeah, it's not that high on the priority list for me. Can I ask how you play this mode? I'm a returning player and I can't seem to make sense. So... You have your roster of champions. When you first start out, you're just going to have Jinx. So you go to Jinx. If you have any relics unlocked, you can go here and put in any that gives you an upgrade. So you can look through. You probably will have like common relics. So it's like, oh, do I want to have regen on my champion? Do I want to get more copies of my champion so I can more likely play them? So you go through, add what you want. You hit play adventure. Then you have all the adventures before you. Now, most of these will be locked for you if you're just starting out. So then you probably want to go over here, go to some of the, like the 1-stars, or like start with a 0-star Teemo, and then you hit the button to play. And normally you just want to go through and play the adventures as you unlock them. And as you unlock them, you're gonna get more and more stuff to play with, more champions, more relics, and the game should just like open up for you. Yeah, taking a look. I am still happy with Darius down there. And Gwen, it is out of the way, and it's not really one you need as much. Vex needs it, yes, but Vex, it's not going to be as much your priority as more out of the way to get it. I feel like Ekko should be A, refilling mana is really good on a Spellslinger deck. It's like possibly. I'll go take a look at Ekko. How far away is his? Alright, so Ekko. It is your first one, so you can grab this right away. Yeah. That is helping it. So we could move it up. Although that is kind of the same with some of these. Yeah, Ekko could be up here in the A tier. I feel like he's kind of weaker than some of these, but stronger than some of the others. Yeah, it is fairly high on the priority list. Granted, this is going to be different for every player, because every player is going to have their own priority for what champions are important or what they want to play. But I think overall this is a pretty good reference for generally the priority you might want to look for unlocking the champions. So we try to take into evaluation how much the champion needs them, how close the node is to them, so how easy it is to get, how important that is to your overall playstyle. The article, yes, I read it. The TLDR is that we're getting a bunch of stuff for Path Champions. We're getting events, we're getting adventures, we're getting new constellations every single month. Yeah, I think this will be good for the tier list.